Alright guys, so we're here with Saul Cervantes, NPC level physique competitor. We're going to be going over some just basics when it comes to physique posing. We're going to talk about how much it differs from bodybuilding posing, and just kind of give you guys an idea of what they do when they go into their posing sessions and then when they go on stage. Now, if you guys haven't seen some of the latest when it comes to the physique competitions, you'll notice it's becoming more of a show. It is less of a mandatory pose followed by another mandatory pose, and it's more of a routine put together very strategically. Now, you have to give them a lot of credit for that because it started off with just a few poses, and now people are turning into a very artsy expression of their own body. So we're going to take a look at Saul Cervantes here as he goes through just some of the basic poses. So we're going to go through the front pose, and then we're going to have him transition to the back. So go ahead and just do what you naturally do when you're on stage, and let's take a look at it. Feel free to talk us through it as well, Saul.
Alright, so I'm fairly new to men's physique. So I've only done a show my entire life, but still working on my posing, so I'm hoping to work with you on what to dial in and what looks good, what doesn't look good. Never been comfortable with my front pose, so that's something I really want to get better at. So so I mean, I've seen lots of guys, and some of these guys kind of transition. Instead of getting in the front, they do a little bit of side to front, because some people are very weak in the front too. Could be lack of upper chest, or just lack of ab development. They try to show their obliques a little more, but they just feel comfortable doing it that way. I don't know what works for me yet, so I'm just kind of trying to experiment. So,
okay, so let's talk about why I argue with Saul all the time about doing bodybuilding. Here's why: because he has a great ratio of lat to waist down to quadricep. And so we've talked about that before. A lot of this, in fact, I would say a good 95% of this here is your genetic predisposition to have a nice set of lats when you put in the hard work and dedication, and then the slim waist. Now, wearing a damn belt or a waist cincher is not going to make this happen for you. So I couldn't do that and get that taper. My taper is not nearly as nice as his. Now, a lot of times in physique, they don't want to see a front on lat spread. You're going to look too wide, and that's why the gentlemen twist. All right, so I use this when I talk about posing with bikini clients. We want to create a twist and torque in the midsection so that we can make that area look slim. And so with the women, it usually comes down to, popping the butt to one side. And for the men, we have to find a way to do the exact same thing, but in a little bit more of a masculine way. So you see a lot of the men coming with a stance where they're popping their hips from one direction to the next, right? Landing in a position where they're not straight on with their hips. That is key. So for Saul, what we're going to have him do is we're going to have him face the front. So face the front, Saul. Okay, perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have you take a stance where you are a little bit wider. So go just a little bit wider, perfect. And then go ahead and shift the weight this way. All right, so as he shifts, right, this shift here, and he focuses on keeping his shoulders up top in the same position, it creates more of a slim appearance. And all he did was twist at the waist. Now go ahead and twist back so we can see the difference. Boom. So big difference from this to this. All right, and this is with both feet being planted. Now, it's key for us to talk about whether or not you want to make that foot mobile or not. But this is just a very basic introduction to creating twist and torque in the midsection. So this twist, if you can emphasize it more, then you're going to look even more slim in the midsection. Now, all of a sudden, you see a display of the obliques and the abs in the midsection, and his job is to keep his shoulders as square as he possibly can while he hits that twist. Because if he twists upper body with his torso twisting and his waist twisting down here, exactly, we lose all of that size. We lose up top what he's worked so hard to create, which is just a really broad appearance with his shoulders. All right, the same goes for back posing. So let's go ahead and do the back pose, and let's go ahead and apply that same principle. Now, you have insane lats. Now, let's point out, now that we're here in the back, we can show you guys, with the right genetics, you put some hard work and you have an insane set of lats. Now, this is wide. This is almost, I would say, too wide for physique. So we have to figure out a way to create the illusion of it not being as wide until we want it to look that wide. So what we're going to start off is by applying the same principle we just talked about. We're going to have him twist at the waist. So go ahead and twist. Go ahead and let's do the other way. Let's go ahead and twist that way. Perfect. Now, as he twists, all right, let's take a look at this. As he twists, he has to, again, square up here, and that causes this scapula to retract just a little bit more. So you go from flaring your lats and looking super wide to having more scapular traction here and more display of the trap up top. Right, and that's a good look. Now you notice how he put his hand on his hip naturally. All right, that's a fantastic pose to do, putting the hand on the hip as you cock that shoulder back. It also creates a very comfortable look. And for physique, you want the look of confident and comfortable on stage because the movements have to be fluid. All right, so this looks fantastic here. Now, what he's doing with his left side, we want to work on because we don't want to have too wide of a flare to make it look like a wide flare here and then a retracted scapula here. So that's something we got to work on later, but we're not talking about the upper body too much here, mostly how to slim up that appearance of the waist there. All right, so for physique, they have the poses, and then more importantly, I would say, are the transitions between the poses. Because again, you have to be able to look confident and comfortable on stage the entire time. All right, so we'll go into transitions in just a bit, maybe in another segment, because it's a very, very touchy, sensitive topic. But just wanted to give you guys the basics, front and back physique poses, how to slim up that waist, and that we're really looking for a model-like look that is comfortable up there, a look that is attainable and not a look that looks very unnatural or forced like most of the bodybuilding mandatory poses. All right, thanks guys, we'll check in with you soon.